Hello! This week we are going to learn how to make our puppets, beginning with the Armature. This is a puppet I created in my studio. I know, he's very realistic and animated. Just kidding! This is my puppy, Fitzgerald, otherwise known as Fitzy. There, okay. So you get, there should be enough of each wire for you to make a puppet. Now for the spine, let's see. We're just gonna cut some wire for that. I like to do a little extra length. These armatures, there's like so many different ways that you can make this. I've done a bunch of different ones, but this, let's see, I'm gonna do some hips, and so then we can just wrap this around. Now it's important not to, you can use pliers to cut the wires, but it's really important that you don't use the wires to, you don't use the pliers to bend the wires, because you'll create nicks in your wire, and that is going to weaken the wire, and over time that can cause your your wires can snap inside your puppet. I haven't had any issues with wire snapping, but especially if you have something that you want to use over and over again, you want to take extra care to make sure that you're not making it weaker. You can use regular wire. This is actually regular wire. This is not armature wire. The armature wire just doesn't weaken when you bend it, but honestly, like, I've always used just like regular wire or pipe cleaners. This could easily be pipe cleaners. I use pipe cleaners all the time. I haven't had any issues, but it depends on what you're doing, I guess. Alright, so then we're gonna just tie that there. Kind of can do this here. Let's see, this is like a little bit wider than the other one. This is a small puppet, so this is actually going to be a smaller puppet version of one that I'm working on. Let me find it. Where is it? Not finished, but this puppet here is one that I've been working on, and it has the 24 gauge wire inside, and then the appendages actually just have this skewer stick in there, which there are some in with the supplies, but you can get them at like the grocery store. And I just stick those in there to keep the appendages stiff. I didn't like the hand, so I cut the hand off and stuck a new arm in there, and I got a new hand that I'm gonna add. But the hand that I cut off is pretty hysterical. I have to find it. Where is it? Well, I'll have to find it and show it to you. But anyway, this is going to be, as you can see, this is a lot bigger. So this is going to be a smaller version of that, because I want to have a smaller version for this particular puppet. Okay, so there's that. And as I said, I prefer smaller wire. This, I'm finding, like, I don't like how it like bends. The loops are not real tight. You can get 24 gauge. I did not get you 24 gauge, unfortunately, but you can get 24 gauge, and that's what this is. It's a lot smaller. So I'm going to cut some of this, and then, let's see here. We're going to add this in here, like that. Okay, and then, where is my skewers? skewers. So we need a skewer that's like that size. So we're gonna cut that like that. Okay. We need one that's about that size. So we're gonna cut that. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna wrap this around. This is, again, like there are lots of different ways to do this. This is with a skewer to make it really hard on the inside, like it's like making a bone. But there are other ways to do it. You could do wire, and then you can add, I know some of you want to do polymer clay, which is fine. If you want to do that. And then I'm just gonna loop this around like that. Okay. Oops. Okay, there's that. And then I'm gonna cut it and leave some extra there for when I wanna add the foot and whatnots. Okay. Okay, so there's one leg. Okay. We're gonna do the other leg. So we're gonna want the legs to be the same size for this demonstration. Okay, there's the femur, tibia, and fibula. Okay. And then we will wrap this around here. Whoops, it's kind of sharp. Okay. Ooh, I'm bleeding. Kids, don't do this at home. Now we have the bottom half done, and then we are going to, see, look at that. Do, 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 do. We have a neck, shoulders. Okay. I think for the shoulders, and you could do this with the hips too, but I think for the shoulders, I'm just gonna do just one of these little sticks. But again, there's just like how you want it, however you want to do it. And then I'm gonna put it in the back, and the reason that I'm gonna put it in the back is so that otherwise she could end up looking like she's hunched over. And she's a dancer, so we want to make sure that she's got good posture. So, let's see. Make sure it lines up. Right there. Okay, I'm having an issue with it lining up, so we're just gonna mark here, here, and here. Okay, there. Like that. And then we're going to wrap it up. Yeah. If you ever went to summer camp as a kid, you might have done stuff like this where you put sticks together and wrap it. You do like the crisscross applesauce. There. And we are wrapped up. Okay. Okay, now we gotta do the arms. We're gonna cut some wire for that. Can get that out of the way. And we are going to wrap this around the shoulders. Okay. Arms. Okay, so we can cut some more of these. That part's really funny because it's the humorous. Okay, and then, let's see. Radius and ulna. Okay. We are going to wrap, okay, wait, hold on. That to go straight down, and then wrap it around thusly. And then we add this one. Then the next one, making sure that it matches. Let's see here. There are lots of ways that you can kind of make this so that it's not quite so delicate. Ow. Again? Are you kidding me? Okay, let's see. You can, this is my own personal trick. I got a pipe cleaner, and then I'm gonna just, this is how I'm gonna do it. Let's see. Then I'm just gonna wrap this around just to give it a little more stability. There are lots of ways to do this. I, again, like to use affordable supplies, and I like to also upcycle whenever I can. So this is just how I do the things myself, but doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. There's that. I just wrap it around like that. There, well, we can just add that to her neck for now. Okay, and that's the beginning of the armature wire, or that is the armature wire, and then now we have to build the rest of the puppets. So, yay! Okay, step one is done. Some people want to work with Sculpey. On this puppet, I'm gonna do a mix of different techniques so that you all can see different ways to do it. And in order to work with Sculpey, I'm gonna take this pipe cleaner off for now, because guess what? Pipe cleaners, they can't go in the oven. But you could do the same thing with wire if you wanted to stabilize it. I'm just gonna wait to stabilize it until I'm done with the oven.